So, did that final part of the episode imply that our main female character and the princess are related in some way? Because that's what I got from that. Now, I could be wrong, but that's the way I interpreted that ending scene. Hear me out. So, at the end of the episode, it is revealed that our main female character, her real name is apparently Charlotte. And then the princess's name, which we haven't really heard her name yet, her real name is Angie. And the way the name was swapped, I was like, wait a minute, is this implying what I think it's implying? Let's think about the context of this episode, okay? Besides the outcome of it, the big point of this episode, how it started, was for our main female character, Angie, to pop up, swap places. That was the big thing, swap places with the princess. But then, at the end of the episode, from what we could see is that the swap has already happened a very long time ago, just no one is aware of it. So, from what I'm getting here and I'm seeing is that these two are related in some way. Either half-sisters, fully blood-related like twins, or they're just, you know, they're identical, like they're doppelgangers, one or the other. But, judging by the way the names were swapped, I'm assuming that the princess swapped a long time ago, and they separated. One went to the orphanage, while one got to live the life that we see going on with the princess. This episode clarifies a lot about the first episode, because there were some things that just did not make sense with some of the exchanges with the characters, and now seeing this episode and comparing the titles, it makes a lot of sense now. Episode 1 was Case 13, FYI. Case 13, so I guess that's basically saying that was like next to the finale of this series, the final episode of Princess Principal, unless this is getting 24 episodes. So, this episode, episode 2, was Case 1. So this was the first case, while episode 1 was Case 13. So there's a big gap between the cases and a lot that has happened between the scenes from the first episode and what happened this episode. This episode was more for clarification and where it all began. And so, from what we can see here is our main female character has actually been manipulating everyone behind the scenes, every single person, and she is working with the princess. Because she is the one that probably manipulated everybody in that room to probably want to make the change with the princess. And then she went out of her way to save the princess and make sure she doesn't come to any harm, but a new operation popped up where she got a key, and also making it to where the princess is going to be able to get in power. So what I'm seeing here is, it seems like these two girls, okay, I guess you can consider them the main female characters, it seems like they've been doing a long con for a very long time. They have been planning this for many, many years. When they swap places, change their names, and now that they're meeting up, everything's been put into place for the princess could become the actual queen of the country, the ruler of the country. So this is some pretty interesting stuff. I didn't think the princess would actually be one of the bad ones. Like she said in this episode, I did not think she would be one of the bad ones. I figured she was going to be a goody-goody princess, you know, someone that was going to be very cute, someone that was going to be very naive, not understand, like, everything that goes on, and not understand what our main female character is having to do when it comes to killing people, being savage, and lying. I figured that the princess wouldn't completely be able to understand that, but I seem to be completely wrong there. Apparently, the princess is a bad person as well, or at the very least, she manipulates people just as much as the spies do, and so that's what they've been doing. And you could clearly see by the exchange of our main female character, Angie, or now Charlotte, the way she was able to go back and forth between her personalities was definitely jarring. She was able to swap back from her cutesy girl personality to a spy personality, back and forth, and that was a very interesting way to showcase her character, but also compliments to the voice actor in the tone shift, because the voice carried a lot of weight. That had to be pretty difficult for the voice actor to shift that type of tone with the character's voice, because one moment the character's acting all cutesy and stuff, and the next moment the character's having to act very serious, and you just can feel the tone shift with the way the character talks. So compliments to the voice actor of our main female character, because that definitely was some solid work. Now, regardless of all of that, though, talking about the series in general after seeing episode 2, the series seems like it's going to have a lot of potential. A lot more than I thought it was going to have. I mean, episode 1 shocked me with how it was done, But episode 2 definitely surpassed even more expectations than I already had, because of the way the princess is, but also how she's been interacting with our main female character, and how they've been planning this all along to get her on top. So, this series, it's definitely something that is worth a watch from summer of anime 2017, and I'm glad I started this. I'm really glad. I know I was going to skip it, I was trashing it, but now seeing this, I'm glad I wasn't going to skip it, because now I can clearly see this is a very, very good series. So, besides all of that, though, I guess one thing I want to talk about the other character, Dorothy. I think that's how you say her name, Dorothy, in this episode. So we found out why she looks much older than the other girls there, and why she has a chest compared to the others. Apparently, she's 20 years old. I mean, holy shit, at the very least that was explained. I'm glad, at the very least, this character doesn't have a big chest and all that, and looks like she does because reasons, because anime. I'm glad she actually looks like that because she is 20 years old. And when she's sitting there on the roof just smoking a cigarette, that was a funny fucking scene. That was a legit funny scene, because it was funny seeing her act like that when the girls popped out. Like, oh, they get all scared. And she's like, I'm using the roof. It's occupied. Get out of here. She's just sitting there smoking a fucking cigarette, just implying how old she is. I mean, that doesn't mean you're mature, but I mean, it just shows that she's a lot older, because normally when it comes to smoking in anime or literature, that shit's censored. I mean, look at, Jotaro from JoJo. I mean, if you go to JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, Stardust Crusaders, Jotaro, even though that man looks like he's in his 30s, he got censored when he was trying to smoke because he's underage. So it's actually implying that Dorothy is definitely over the age of 18. She is considered an actual adult, and she's able to smoke. So, once again, very interesting to see that, little detail with her character. So that's about it when it comes to this week's episode of Princess Principal. I like so far what I have seen. Definitely something I'm going to continue watching, and hopefully it continues to impress me with each episode. So let me know your thoughts. How do you feel about how this episode was handled? How do you feel about the long con that our characters are doing? How do you feel about the princess being one of the bad ones? Please be honest in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.